It's kind of crazy that we've been talking for 45, 50 minutes, whatever it is, and Miami has just not come up at all. And Miami has made the conference finals 3 of the last 4 years. Like, they don't fit into any.
I feel like you're throwing shade at me.
No, it's
like I'm ignoring them. You don't think that I had a Miami-related
topic
and question prepared?
But they just don't fit neatly into any category of like team. They're just even in the. I keep writing this and saying this because I think it's astounding. This 4-year stretch with Jimmy, finals, first round, conference finals, game 7, finals. They've won at a 48 win pace in the regular season. Like, it's just, they're just like an okay to good regular season. I just have no idea what to make of them. None.
Yeah. The question I have, Gabe Vincent and Max Strus leaving. On paper, you're like, those guys are replaceable, I guess.
Well, one is theoretically replaced by Herro coming back, right? But yeah, I mean, they're betting they're betting big on like Josh Richardson, like coming back into the bosom of the Heat culture and like having a big year on both ends of the floor for us. Like maybe starting over Kyle Lowry. Like they're betting big on him. They're betting big on like they think Highsmith is ready. Think Jovic can play with Bam some at the 4. Like we'll see. I just know like we get to the end of the year and it just seems like they're winning. Just seems like the Heat are here come the Heat again. Like how the hell is this happening?
My expectation is exactly what you talked about with this team. I think they're going to I don't think they'll be in the play-in this year. I think they'll figure out a way to be in the top 6, which is probably where we're going to go next anyways. But I think they figure out a way to be in the top 6, and I don't want to play them in the playoffs. I don't want to go against Spo and Jimmy in the playoffs. My sense from everything I've read and all the quotes is like Tyler was in trade talks all summer. And Tyler's a worker. He worked his ass off and feels like he's now new chip on his shoulder and is poised for an even better year. And if Tyler Herro's even better, yeah, I'm confident they're going to be a good regular season team. I'm confident.
I think he's a massively important player for them in the regular season. In the playoffs, they have to help him out on defense and protect him. And like, we all know that. And they were a stronger defensive team without him. That's fine. Like, I still think they could have used him in the playoffs, but in the regular season, he's a very good player. And particularly like Jimmy's going to miss 20 games. That's where having Tyler Herro's shot creation is going to really show up strong for them. But I agree with you. I have them in the top 6. I think they're going to be above the play-in this year. It's just hard to project them for, like, they had the 1 year where they were the 1 seed. I think they won 53 or 51 that year. It wasn't like they were a killer number 1 seed. Other than that, they've just kind of been floating around in the mid-40s.
I think we both can agree that there's 3 teams in the East that we're like confident are going to be in that top 6. Everything goes right. Most thing goes right. These 3 teams, Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, they're going to be in the top 6. There's essentially room for 3 other teams. I think 76ers are going to be in there as long as Joel plays enough games. They're going to win games.
Things are going awesome there.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great. And then it's like Heat, Knicks, Hawks, Bulls, Raptors, Indy, Magic, Brooklyn. You may be high on Charlotte. I'm not. Pistons, Wizards, I don't think are going to be in that top 6. I'm happy Pistons are one of the teams on my sort of top tier league pass rankings. I'm actually happy to watch their young guys develop with Monty, but what's the likelihood of, say, an Indy, Atlanta with Quinn for a full season, the Magic, who we mentioned, jumping into that top 6 and securing a playoff spot?
I think Atlanta's got a shot. I weirdly like the Hawks. I have a standing bet with Tim Bontemps, $100 dinner that the Hawks are gonna. The bet started in one place, and then by the end of the sentence that I was saying, ended in another place. So it started as $100 top 6 Hawks, because I think Cleveland is just sort of like regular season proof. Like they just have too many good players. We can ask questions about them in the playoffs. They're going to win a lot of regular season games. I think you look at Philly, New York, Miami, it just feels like one of those teams is going to have a weird below expectation season. Like for whatever reason, health, general Philliness. Knicks have this like Tibbs has this up and down effect.
General Philliness.
Well, you're a veteran of the process, man. Like not the process, the end of the process. Just it's every year. It's just every freaking year with this team, and it's uglier now than it's ever been. But yeah, they have the MVP and they have Maxey, whatever. Just like shorting that collective group feels like a reasonable stance to take. And so if you're asking me which team steps in, Hawks. And then the bet was like, you know what? Top 6 isn't aggressive enough. We're going to have fun. Let's have fun. Top 5, $100. And Bontemps is just sitting there like happy to watch me negotiate against myself. Like top 5? Sure. We're going to go top 4. I don't really even know why I like the Hawks this much. I don't have a great answer.
You like the idea of the Hawks.
I like the idea of the Hawks. I just think Quinn Snyder is worth like 4 regular season wins.
Okay.
And they have, if you're top 3 off the bench, let's say they start Jalen Johnson. I'm not sure who's going to be the 5th starter. It could be Bey, it could be Jalen Johnson. Like they're bringing off the bench Bogdan Bogdanovic, Onyeka Okongwu, Sadiq Bey or Jalen Johnson. And that's before you get into like the next wave of guys like the AJ Griffins. They have like that's a good, their top 10 is really good.
Yeah.
It might not be like guys 3 to 7 or 3 to 6 might not be as high quality as you want me to win the title, but to win in the regular season, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
No one shares my Hawks optimism. Everyone is already bored of Trae Young shooting floaters. It's just everyone is already bored of it.
I do think it's interesting what you said about the Heat, 76ers, and the Knicks. Potentially, or you're saying one of those teams having a funky season because it seems inevitable.
Like one of those teams wins 43 games somehow. Like
it is interesting to me because everybody talks about the top 12 in the West. And I'm going to put the 76ers and the Heat aside out of respect for what they have already done. So
what have the Sixers done?
They've gotten to the playoffs every year. They've won a bunch of games. I'm talking about regular season.
Okay.
Man. Relax, guy. Relax. We lost to Kawhi Leonard on a fucking crazy shot.
Great team.
They won the championship.
Great team. Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick. It's a great team.
I wouldn't throw myself in there. But it is interesting, though, because you move past those 2 teams as well as the 3 teams we mentioned with the Cavs, Bucks, and Boston. And it's Knicks, Hawks, Bulls, Raptors, Indy, Magic, Nets. That's 7 teams, 6 through 12, that at least for most of the season, and I would even throw the Hornets in there. Now that's 7 teams, or at least for most of the season, they're going to be trying to make the playoffs. Yeah. They're going to be trying to make the playoffs. So I think the West is